hey there. Thanks for tuning in to another Brewnomics interview series at the Lounge. I'm Jerry.
I'm Vic.
We have a special guest with us today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Joe Sanders. I'm the owner, operator of Boise Fermentation Company.
There we go. We'll get into that in a second, but first,
Let's
drink a kombucha.
Beer.
You heard that right. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun one for us because, I mean, it's close enough to beer, right?
It's close enough to beer, and it's stronger than some of the beers that you brought today.
Cool.
Ooh,
Cool.
very nice.
So, first one you brought for us, Joe, is strawberry passion fruit mango kombucha. What can you tell us about this?
I would say all locally, but mangoes aren't grown locally. So the mangoes
That's
were
true.
bought organically. Everything else in here is bought locally. This is a true kombucha as far as taste, smell. I was originally wanting to bring in the jalapeno raspberry for you because it was less kombucha-ish. Still got that little vinegar, little taste to it.
Yeah, very interesting. So, like, what does a typical kombucha sort of smell like, taste like? Is there anything particular you're looking for the uninitiated?
So everything's pretty much pH levels. So just like when you're fermenting a beer, you're trying to hit pH levels of certain fermentations. So a typical kombucha is hitting anywhere between 2.2 to about 3.2. So I pull mine. I do several different fermentations on all of mine. And so most of mine have less of that vinegary kind of pucker. So
pungency.
Similar to a sour is kind of how I consider kombucha. So, but I do multiple fermentations on mine, both because I want it to taste a certain way, and then also because I feel like it comes out as a better product and it'll last a lot longer the way I'm doing it. There's also different people in the area will do a refrigeration. They will actually clean it out, and so it has none of all the good bacteria that you should be getting from kombucha. They'll clean that out so that it'll last a year. There's all kinds of different ways that like the big companies or even local companies can kind of make their product last so they're not losing money. But the process I do is to get a good product. So.
Very cool. Yeah. Very tasty, and it doesn't have that sort of like almost off-putting smell in some cases that might push a person to buy a different beverage if they smell that in a bar or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, well done on this one. Strawberry, mango, and passion fruit. Almost like a pog juice sort of quality to it. Very cool. Right on.
Very much so.
It is super juicy. You could drink it like juice. Yeah, you got to keep your kids away from this one.
Absolutely. Well, what do you say we get into it, Joe?
Let's do it.
All right, so let's ask the big question. Why kombucha, sir?
I've been brewing kombucha for on and off probably 10 years. And so came over to Boise 3.5 years ago. Owned a pizza joint, sold a pizza joint. Was kind of looking for something else to do that I could also still be an owner, still, like not get in the rat race 9 to 5. And kind of opportunities presented itself with kombucha. Guy named Eli, who owns Craft Brews of Boise, had on his hands one of the largest kombucha fermenters in the United States. And so it was like perfect opportunity. I was thinking about it, was talking to him about it, and he was like, I have this thing not even being used here. So kind of just everything kind of fell into place very naturally. So decided to give that a go. I'm doing non-alcoholic and then also alcoholic kombucha and nobody else in Idaho is doing alcoholic kombucha. So I saw a little niche there. And I'll say also due to like, COVID, everything else, everybody's wanting beer, everybody's wanting alcohol right now. They're stuck in their homes. So that was, I'll say like 4-1 alcoholic kombucha over non-alcoholic right now is for obvious reasons.
Need a little something to take the edge off.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Break up the monotony. Absolutely.
Did you brew beer and kombucha, or was there just something about kombucha that drew you to it over beer?
I lived in Portland for almost 10 years, and I always make the joke, like, Portland, everyone makes kombucha at home. And so, like, you can't live in Portland and not know how to make kombucha. So it's a whole different aspect doing it in, large batches. But like little 1 gallon batches here and there, I feel like it's almost like your key to the city before you get into Portland. Is,
Okay.
Your test of Portlandship?
How Portland are you?
How
Brew my own
Portlandian?
kombucha?
This is what you need to be a Portlandian. Know how to brew kombucha.
Not all of Portlandia is false.
Not
So
you know how
Awesome.
to make kombucha and have a fixed gear bike.
It's 2 things you need. Those are 2 things you need. Yeah. You'd mentioned something that you are in possession of one of the largest kombucha fermenters in the United States.
I know the West Coast. I don't know if it's the largest one in the United States.
Okay.
I think it is, though. It's close. That's what I've been told, and I've looked around online. It's huge. So,
Awesome. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that was right here in Boise. So that's pretty neat, man. Right on.
Does that mean you can have more different flavors of kombucha at a style, or is that just at a style? Jeez, at a time, or is it just straight storage?
Volume.
so I'm fermenting, and then so there's a first ferment, which I'm just fermenting tea, and then there's a second ferment, which I'm flavoring. So I can have, instead of having 5 or 8 gallons at a time, which is what most people are doing, that brew kombucha, except for the big huge guys. I can do 45 in one container.
Oh shit!
So
You're talking some real volume right there.
real volume, and actually how it's meant to be fermented in a glass container, instead of a lot of people are doing plastic, which is kind of a no-no, but they're either doing it in plastic or they're doing it in essentially beer fermenters. So, yeah.
Like steel.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Why would you ferment in plastic?
It's food grade plastic.
Sure,
You
Sure.
Can,
you can.
you can,
All
and
right.
people do, but
Sure.
Frowned upon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, learn something new. We're learning lots today. This is such a niche thing, this kombucha, especially non-alcoholic and alcoholic version. So, no.
I'm really excited to
cool,
learn
man.
more about this. So we don't have the ABV on the can. Do you know what the alcohol percentage is on this one?
So this one is essentially non-alcoholic. All kombucha, since it's fermented, does have alcohol in it. So I mean, that one's ranging. It's under 5%,
Okay.
or under 0.5%. So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's just straight up regular old good school kombucha.
Oh, all
it's
right.
like drinking an O'Doul's.
All right.
Oh, okay.
It's healthy for you.
Okay. I need that.
Nice. So how did you first get introduced to kombucha? I imagine somewhere in Portland, since that's how you get one of your badges there.
So I have good friends over in Portland from Lionheart Kombucha.
I'm not familiar.
And so they're, I won't say the biggest or largest kombucha companies in Portland, but they're up there. They do non-stop classes. Like their big thing is to teach everyone. And so became friends with them. I volunteered for them a couple times, like at like street fairs or whatever, little Saturday markets. But watched kind of what they were doing, and kind of watched them grow steadily through the years. And so from watching them, kind of understood like, okay, this is the market you're dealing with. how to actually like sell yourself as a company to that market, and yeah, so understood that yes, it's a business, but it's also like I do a lot of stuff that's also like community driven, because that's one of those things that's super important to do, especially in the market that you're in, is to gather around community, and to promote other businesses, to promote different actions that are happening in the community. So that's definitely that niche of what kombucha is about is very like I don't there's no competitors, there's no it's all about kind of sharing. Here's what my product is. This person has a different product. I have a different product. It might be in the same kind of genre, but it's still, you can differentiate. I could taste somebody else's product in Boise and go, I know that's not mine, or I know whose this is just by the way they brew it, the way they ferment it. So kombucha is a little bit different on that aspect than beer is.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely, and I really appreciate it. It sounds like a lot of collaboration that you do, which is super awesome, but that's also like another niche piece that all craft brewers do. They like to collaborate a lot around here, so I haven't met one that we've talked to yet that's been like super competitive, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, there is that, obviously a little bit of competition for some, but in like a friendly sense, not like a step over other people to get there.
I think Boise's definitely different that way, where I haven't met a brewery owner that outright said like we're after their market share or anything
exactly
like that.
Right,
exactly.
Where I think like if you get into those big ones in like Seattle and Portland, like I think they are after each other's throats.
Sometimes it's definitely is more of a community collaboration in Boise, and that's one thing that this podcast has really helped us shine, and I think, or we want to help put a shine on rather. And one thing, again, shout out to Stacy Connolly from Boise Beer Buddies. I think why she knew you'd be a good fit for this show is because of that similar sense of being in touch with the community. So I'm just curious, and that kind of popped up back to the kombucha in Portland. What makes it so common there besides the community thing? Is it like easier on the environment to brew? Is it a health aspect that makes it better to brew? Is there something specifically about kombucha that calls to people?
I think it's one, it's a health aspect. I think two, it's also the anyone can do it. Like you can brew a small batch at home, limited resources, and so it's just a very easy thing to like. I can put this in my house. I can brew a 1 gallon batch, and I mean I've shown countless people in Boise, like if they want a SCOBY, if they want a mother, there you go. Here's and I've shown them how to brew like. Just because you're brewing this doesn't mean like it's taking away from my margin. It's not. You're not taking away, from my business.
Sure.
And so the more people that get into it, the better I am.
Well, absolutely.
So, yeah.
It never hurts to have more.
No, it doesn't.
That's not true.
Depends on the situation.
But
yeah.
Sounds like not in this one.
No, but very, like I said, very, very community oriented on the. I want to show others how to brew. Want to show others,
You want to show others how to do what you do, and that in part makes you better and them better. And once again, you get back to that larger community you're sharing. It just improves the more differentiation, the better you get, as far as I'm understanding it.
Totally.
Pretty rad, man. That's awesome. I dig it. We have another beer in front of us.
Yeah, let's see if you dig this one. So this is a beer I've never had from a brewery. I don't think I've also ever had. This is from OEC Brewing. It's the Cool Ship Lager Black. Cool shipped and open fermented. It's a Czech-style black lager, 5.4%. Now let's learn about this. Our Cool Ship Lager Black gains its signature color from the use of European roasted malts. It is brewed using a traditional double decoction mash, and hopped with fine European noble hops. After the boil, it rests in our copper cool ship for 1 hour. It is then transferred over to our Baudelot cooler. That was a word I don't know. Into our open tanks for fermentation. After a cool fermentation using a classic Czech lager yeast, it is cellared for several months prior to release. A Baudelot cooler. Baudelot. Joe?
You got me.
Nothing? Okay, cool.
Your guess is as good as mine.
All right. Well, as long as the beer is good, that's all I give a shit about.
I will say that's one of the longest descriptions I've ever heard.
Dude, it is a paragraph
of
on
it.
there for sure.
Read you a book there. It's all right.
Okay, 5.4. Let's check it out. A black Czech lager. Oh, it definitely smells roasted.
Yeah, super. Kind of a nice malt build there. It's clean, refreshing. It's not bad.
I dig it. I don't think I've ever had a black lager before. Yes, I have. A black Czech lager?
That is unique.
Black Czech lager is different for me.
Yeah.
Black lagers I've had.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
But this is a new. It's really good, though. I like it. It is for it being as roasted as it smells. It sits really clean and finishes really
As
quickly.
roasty as it is, still super drinkable.
Mm-hmm. Surprised not mad at this at all. Huh, good beer. I've never had anything from this brewery before. I was super fascinated just by the label. I don't even know what you would describe that as. Looks like a map of the stars. But not constellations.
What does that mean?
Exactly. What does it mean?
It's provocative.
All right. Well, good beer, man. We normally, on our normal podcast, we rate beer on Untapped. You're familiar with Untapped, right?
I am.
I'm going to rate this one. Why not? I like this. I'd give it probably just a 3.5, though.
3.5. Alcohol percentage weighing you down a little bit.
I think 3.5 is a fine rating.
I think so.
I just
too.
don't know how often I would go back to this beer. It doesn't have quite as much personality as I'd like it to. It tastes just like kind of like a roasted lager, and then it's gone.
I feel you there, man. Yeah, I'm gonna double down with a 3.5 there. I think that's a really fair review on that one. Same reasons, yeah. What do you think, Joe?
Not my style of go-to, but still very tasty. I got 3.75.
Oh, more generous than we are.
I think so.
Yeah. The more we rate beer, the more like
The average it gets.
average it gets. Exactly. All right, well, back at it, huh?
Let's do it. Yeah. So, can you tell us is there a huge difference between like kombucha and fermented tea?
So there's many different types of fermented tea.
Okay.
So kombucha is a fermented tea.
Ah.
Yeah. So normally people are using a mixture of green and black tea to do kombucha. Traditionally, you're usually getting your SCOBY or your mother.
Can you explain those two pieces for us, SCOBY and mother? If I'm
So SCOBY
SCOBY.
is I'm drawing a blank right now. It's a collection of bacteria yeast. So you usually just call it a mother, but it's basically what's growing on the top of your fermentation, and so you'll transfer those for each ferment, and then some will get old and it will grow. And why they call it a mother is that yeast creates what's called a baby SCOBY. But it's just a collection of yeast that's super thin, translucent, will come up and create a new layer on the top. And so probably every 3 to 4 batches, depending on what you're doing, you'll take the old ones off. And lots of people do all kinds of crazy, weird things with SCOBY. Like I've seen SCOBY face masks. I've seen people making it a jerky. I've seen people, and it's totally healthy to eat. It's just a bacteria, yeast. Yeah. I don't do that personally, but to each their own. But But so yeah, you'll have these SCOBY kind of layers growing. Some will get old, you cut those off, and then continues to grow. But yeah, you'll have first fermentation, second fermentation, third fermentation on all these things, depending on how you want your kombucha to taste, or depending on what you're doing with the kombucha to begin with. So.
That is incredibly interesting. I'm just cracking eggs of knowledge all over me today. I
But
love
to get
it.
back to your question, a lot of, as far as the tea goes, a lot of people will do green tea, black tea. Some people use like white peony, sometimes to make it like extremely light, depending on the flavors they're using. I do lemongrass with just about everything because it still has that nice, light, but still flavorful.
A little je ne sais quoi there. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But that's the traditional way. Is they'll usually bring up the SCOBY green and black tea, and then they'll do lemongrass from then on, so that everything's very, very light. I think the American version of kombucha is very, very vinegary, in that, like you had mentioned before, of that smell of kombucha. That's a very, very American.
Really?
It is. So they want it strong, pungent, taste like they're doing some kind of medicinal kind of thing, and traditionally that's not how it's done.
Interesting.
Yep.
Huh. What are some of the health benefits of kombucha?
A lot of just stomach
That would be
clean
my
out,
guess.
a lot of stomach, good bacteria versus bad bacteria in the stomach, a lot of good B and D vitamins. So like a lot of people will do with their Monster energy drinks, which I do far too much as well. But like it's got all the same stuff as like a lot of those energy drinks do, but with almost none of the sugar, none of
The weird
all the
chemicals.
bad stuff and all the chemicals. Yeah. So.
All the words on the back of the can you can't pronounce that are 18 lines long.
Yeah.
Acid. Yeah, that's
There's
awesome.
literally 3 ingredients. So, yeah, as opposed to 40.
That's
and,
good.
And they're all pronounceable, which also helps.
Also helps a lot.
All pronounceable.
How long have you been doing the Boise Fermentation Company thing? Fairly, I want to say, like the last few years, right?
Very recently.
Very
so we,
recently, I think.
I started December of last year. And then we started up so we're located in Craft Brewers of Boise. We got a little pop-up in there, and then do cans and draft. But we started in there had our opening party in March, which was perfect timing with everything going on in the world. So we had our big grand opening on, I think it was March 6th, and then it was like a week later.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
But no, we had a good time. We had bands, packed house. Like we actually had to turn away some people. It was a good time. So.
Wow. At least you got to experience that piece. That was good.
Correct. That would have been a bummer if we didn't have a grand opening with people in it. I guess.
Yeah, which is more than some got this time. So yeah, that's pretty rad. Excuse me.
Is it just you there? Are you the head brewer, owner? Do you do it all? Do you have somebody else that helps you out?
No, I pretty much do it all. I have a guy. We're going to start distribution here in the next week. So I have a guy that's known for quite a while. That's college intern. That's going to be my salesperson. And then, so pretty much brewing and going at it.
Rad. Right on.
All by yourself. How many, maybe off topic, how many hours a week do you think you put into this? It's got to be so many. Are you just like, I don't count because it's going to make me sad?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Once we
okay.
start distribution, then yeah.
Damn.
Now I can probably keep somewhat of a count, but yeah, once we start distribution, it'll be intense.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Good. That'll mean you're growing. Ain't
Also
nothing
true.
wrong with that, huh?
Absolutely. So I'm sort of curious on like the business end of things. Do you still like require like the same licensure as like a brewer would, or how does that piece work?
So Idaho's a little strange.
That's one way to say it.
Yep.
So same things as a brewery, but kombucha is now considered as of, I think, 2 years ago in Idaho, a food. Even though I'm doing actually, I think it would be easier for somebody to get sick off of beer than it would kombucha. I will say that. But, so it's technically considered a food now. So now I do need, in the state of Idaho, I do need to get a food permit. So, yeah. So, to answer your question, yes, it is slightly different than the beer. I have to get the same beer brewery license. But I also need to get a food license as well.
Oh, on top of it.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, so he hit you twice there. Huh.
Yeah.
That's lame. Huh.
Everybody wants their money. I get it. But
All right. Still seems weird, but okay. I don't even know how to respond to that.
I know. Yeah, I was.
Just, if you want to do it, you got to do it then.
Yeah. Dot your I's.
Food.
Cross your J's.
Okay.
Okay.
God, I love you, Paul.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see on screen right now, we have our good friend Paula Kahn of the show. Thank you, Paula. Appreciate that. I'm gonna get you.
We're supposed to do his black is beautiful first.
Thank you.
We can let this one sit for a minute.
It's okay.
Needs to get there.
what's making me crack up is that you're walking around like a guy who's never walked around in sandals ever before.
He's literally only wears sandals his entire life.
Well, thank you. Which beer do we have here?
Yeah, let's do it. Will you pour us that one first, and we'll just let this one sit for a second, please? Please, because I want to try his first. All right. So, do you plan on brewing anything outside of kombuchas? Like, that's a pretty good question he has on here. Any sort of ciders, meads, groots? Oh, he does not have hard seltzers on here. All right.
Did you say Groots?
Groots.
Gruits?
Groots. Gruits.
Spelled it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's sort of interesting, too, because that licensure element, it does sort of allow you to really do a lot more than sort of most, let's say, craft brewers. So, I don't know, yeah.
So before the shutdown, we were planning on and had a lot of interest in doing a local pickle juice for bars. We also were
Love a
planning on
pickleback.
doing ginger beer, but with all the bars shut down right now, that's kind of taking a back seat. But that's definitely something we were planning. And pickle juice is a weird, odd thing to make when you're not actually fermenting pickles with it. And so
Yeah, that
a
makes
lot of
sense.
strange oddball recipes that we're trying out that have no pickles in it. So, yeah.
So where does the juice come from?
I was about to ask.
It's dill seed. Dill seed. But I'm saying when you're not fermenting pickles with it, it's an odd thing to just make pickle juice. So
I believe you're called a magician in some circles. I just...
dill seed, man.
The alchemist. All right, let's drink another one. Not that one yet. Not that one yet. We're gonna do yours first, and then we'll get into the other one. Just 'cause I want to go kombucha beer, kombucha. So this is your Black is Beautiful contribution. Which, if you haven't gone back and checked out our podcast a few weeks ago about that, please do. We had all the local, except for one, Black is Beautiful on there because it's not made yet. So tell us your process about this, how you decided on it, why you wanted to get in, whatever you feel like saying about it, I suppose.
So I noticed that Western Collective, I think, was the first one to get into the Black is Beautiful national
movement
beer thing that's going on.
Campaign.
It's pretty cool. So I read about it, saw what everybody was doing, saw the breweries that were participating, and so wanted to be a part of it. Didn't know if I could technically, and so I reached out to Weathered Souls and was like, "I'm brewing. Is this okay if we do this? Obviously, we're not going to make a stout, so." But asked them, and we were, I think, one of, now 3. At the time, it was the second one. That was the actual kombucha brewer that they allowed to be in there. But really, really cool campaign. Really cool what they're doing. And I think my entire Instagram feed for Boise Fermentation Company is like Black is Beautiful, just like top to bottom. I think there's 900 something breweries across the country that are doing this now. So pretty neat thing. So
Have you checked on those numbers lately, Vic?
I
Since
haven't.
our episode?
I mean, it was growing steadily. So the last time we did that 3 weeks ago is sitting at about 960. So I'd imagine we're above 1,000 at this point. I mean, multiple, like over 13 countries, all 50 states. I mean, it's just huge, which is really awesome to see. So yeah, I appreciate your contribution. This is fantastic. You did an amazing job with this beer. As kombuchas, I'm still dipping my toes into this world. You did a phenomenal job with this, my friend.
So this one's all going to Neighbors United. It's all going to Neighbors United Collaboration Alliance. It's a mouthful, but it's essentially group in Minneapolis that is funding pretty much everyone that went to jail that first week. So it's funding lawyers, housing. I mean, like everything for all those people that got arrested. So nice. I thought that was a good thing to donate to.
Absolutely.
I agree. What was your ingredient process with this?
So this one is pomegranate juice, and then blackberry. So the blackberries were all local. Pomegranate, obviously not.
Obviously not local.
Obviously not.
It's a climate thing.
It is the climate thing.
No, I actually like this one a lot, and I was apprehensive, like Vic said, because again, just dipping our toes in the kombucha thing. But if you go back and listen, I'm not lying. I really enjoyed this. I like the flavor a lot, but again, you throw pomegranates and blackberries in, I'm probably gonna enjoy it. It's a great pairing.
I feel like the pomegranate gives it kind of a sparkling wine, sparkling cider kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it's a nice, that effervescence piece you're kind of speaking to is really nice. Plus the color on this, striking. You don't normally see it. It's dare I say, like a rosé, or like a pink ruby red grapefruit sort of combination. Yeah. What's that? Sorry?
No, I agree. Totally.
Oh, okay.
Exact color, I think.
Good deal. So sort of going over some things about kombucha. What would probably be the highest ABV kombucha that you've brewed in your historical memory?
And what is this? This one's, if I remember right, like 6.5?
I think it's 5. I think so. I think this one's 5.2. I think the other one's 5.2 as well.
Oh. Whoops.
Oops.
The highest, I think I did one that was, I think I did my first raspberry jalapeno one. I think it was a 9, and it was brutal.
So in Idaho, it's like what, 50?
No, I never did 12.
It's like what, 15 or 16% is the highest a beer can be. Do you have any legal restrictions for what kombucha can be ABV wise before you can't do it in Idaho that you know of?
I would imagine it's the
something.
same.
Probably
I would
about.
imagine it's the same.
Yeah. Because I think it's like, because even wines can't be above 16% in Idaho unless it's like a cooking sherry.
Oh, sure. Yeah, then you can get into like a weird port wine, which is sitting between 20 and 24%
I don't know
usually.
if I even want to.
If you don't want to
F
F with that,
nine was much. It was a bit much.
Did it change the process? Did it require like greater length of time fermenting, or?
It was more time fermenting, a lot more. So normally I use champagne yeast.
that makes sense.
Every time I'm doing that, like third ferment. But yeah, I probably won't ever go above 9.
Does it just get too alcohol-y after that?
Yes, but it also, I mean, it changes the flavoring. It changes everything.
Probably getting into different chemical breakdowns.
Yeah.
Above
Yeah.
there.
And I probably wouldn't go above that unless it was.
9 still. Let's be real.
It's up there.
I feel like I'm making like homemade moonshine at that point.
Anytime you get above 9%, even with beer, and I will like a high ABV one on general, but not that high. It's just like, come on. Come on. Easy now.
You're on 3rd Street. It's okay. It's okay.
It's like that's when you go from being a craft beer enthusiast to maybe a bit of an alcoholic.
Yeah. Start swinging for the fences. Yeah, and it probably ultimately loses the spirit of what kombucha is. And so as you feel like you're making moonshine at that point. You're like, probably am. Like.
So where do these tend to sit? Do they tend to sit around the 5.2, right above their area, right around there?
4.5 to, I'd say upper 5 is a quick, easy, natural. Like I give it a 5-day ferment with the yeast, and they're pretty solid. That's why I even have 2 different batches that sat exactly at 5.2, which I thought was odd.
I did notice that. I thought it was like very interesting. They were both 5.2.
But like that 5-day, like you're pretty close, like every single time. But then you add a little more yeast or wait one more day, and it's a whole nother monster.
So we've talked a little bit about kind of your target market. I'm sort of curious, what exactly is your target market? If you had to visualize a person who is buying kombucha, what might that person kind of be interested in? Is that a weird question?
Target market.
Yeah. Your population.
Your audience.
Who do you sell to?
20 to... I mean, I'll say the demographic that comes in to buy my kombucha is anywhere from 20 to 50. I'd say more women than men. Yeah.
Like more health conscious individuals?
I've seen both ends of the spectrum right now. Like, and again, this isn't a good time to like go, here's my market.
Sure.
But I mean, like I've seen women that have come in that like have health issues going like, I want alcoholic kombucha because this is all I can drink, and I'm gluten free, and it's like this huge long list of things. And then I've had like, you know, same 50-year-old women come in and be like, I don't want alcohol. I want something that's going to, you know, be like a probiotic, and this is healthy, you know. So it's all kind of all ends of the spectrum.
That's pretty cool, man. So with that, what is your bestseller right now?
The Black is Beautiful, obviously. We just came out with the Boise Pride can. I'm going to try and do at least have one offering, basically, that's going to be some sort of community donation, help a nonprofit that's in the area. I just feel like that's an important thing to do. And so I'm going to do one of those probably year-round, and those are going to be probably my bestseller, but it's also getting new people in that might just try to be support a cause, but it'll also be like, hey, here's a new product, here's something new maybe you haven't tried, and maybe there'll be customers after that. But I'll try and do that year-round. But like the Black is Beautiful thing's been a big help. Western Collective's been awesome in sharing everybody. Like Matt Swede's been doing stuff. A lot of other breweries have been doing cool things. So, yeah.
No, I think that's super rad, and I definitely applaud you. And I love that you like getting into helping causes and helping people, and that you can bring this awesome skill that you have of brewing kombucha to help do that. I think you're a rare breed, my friend. You're a rare breed.
Yeah, we had so our Boise Pride that we just put out last Saturday is all the proceeds go to Inclusive Idaho, and so we had the executive director come down last week and talk to everybody over at Craft Brewers, and it was a cool thing. So the fact that she came down personally and appreciates it, yeah, I mean, means a lot. So
that is awesome. Well, I love that you guys are doing something for a cause, and we're going to get to that one here in a minute. But first, we're going to just transition from Black is Beautiful to Black is Beautiful.
Sure is.
Sure. And then we'll get into it. We're going to go a totally different direction. Since you didn't brew a stout, They did. This is the Imperial Stout from Revision, which I'm also intrigued because it's not a hazy from Revision.
Which is interesting.
They do more than hazies.
I know.
Like 3 other things.
Like a stout.
But let's get down on this one, of course. Revision from Nevada. This one coming in at 10%. Of course it does.
Of course it does. It's up there.
Take it easy now. Smells sweet and roasty.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's good. That's such a big palate jump going from the kombucha to the stout. Oh, wow. Just changed universes.
Yeah, definitely altitudes for sure.
Right now my brain's like, what the hell is going on? Trying real hard not to swear on these.
Solid alternate. Yeah. Which is the cool thing though is the kombucha has this nice sort of palate cleansing quality to it, which I think kind of helped the situation. So
This is a really light 10% beer. Is that just me? Am I just thirsty today? I just spent a lot of time outside and
really
it's super
well
hot.
on hiding the alcohol content of their stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, this does not seem like a 10%. Damn, not bad at all.
No, it does not. It's scary. It's sneaky scary.
All right. Oh, well, let's rate should we rate this one?
Should we? I don't know.
Should we?
I don't know.
We didn't rate the Black is Beautiful when we did it the last time.
Okay.
Our podcast, remember that?
I do.
Mm.
No, I should probably
All right.
be consistent then.
Just going to forgo it then.
All right.
I'll totally drink this beer again. This is really good.
It's a good beer. Yeah, it's a little bit of internal dialogue there. I had to work some stuff out.
If you're one of the people that actually watch Brewnomics commonly, you'll know what we're talking about. Or you won't. Whatever.
Whatever. We'll get there. Yeah.
Is there a moment when you drank kombucha where, I know you told us a little bit early about coming into this, and how the pieces kind of fell into place quite nicely, but what was it like? Is there that striking moment where you're like, I'm going to go into business for this? Kombucha. That's going to be the name of my game, and I'm going to win it. Because you're winning it right now.
You are.
May not be competitive, but you're still winning.
You're
First
really
place.
sounding like your middle name is Joe right now.
Ain't that the truth? Yeehaw, baby. It also is.
No, like I said, it kind of just fell into my lap as far as like having people I knew in certain, in certain industries and in the community. Also having that giant fermenter at a friend's place. But it was also like 3 months of me having 31-gallon jars at my house, trying different sample batches of different teas and different flavorings, and having a ton of friends over and them like grimacing at certain flavor combinations. And so yeah, it was a lot of different things came into place, and a lot of friends going, don't ever serve this again. So
Oh boy, that had to be.
Ouch.
Man, that's a good testament too, because I'm sure that had to be a little punch in the pride every time that happened.
just trying different
You
flavor
just gotta
combinations.
figure
see
it
what
out,
works.
huh?
See what works.
Oh,
true.
what's your? Do you have a favorite flavor combination that you've come up with so far?
I will go
That
back
people
to,
can go and buy.
Absolutely. No, so I will go back to over and over, like, I love jalapeno in everything. Raspberry jalapeno of mine, I think, kills it. But, like, I used to go over to Beth from Bear Island and go get their fuse, or I'd go over to Powder House and get their gherkin goza and then their jalapeno beer, mix them. Like, I love jalapeno in anything. And so, I feel like I do that one exceptionally well.
Damn. If only that were here.
I
Shucks.
meant to bring it.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, already covered that one. Man, you have done a good job answering our leading questions.
Well done, well done. So as far as like, let's say that raspberry jalapeno that you so lovingly brew, if someone were to get like a growler of that out of curiosity, how long does that typically stay, or really just in general, like how long do most kombuchas kind of hold up over time in the fridge?
In general, if you're leaving it in the fridge, like if it was just a growler that you filled at my place, I mean it's gonna last a couple months. So you will obviously be losing carbonation every time you open it, like anything else. But yeah, in a fridge, months.
Oh,
So,
nice. So you can
Yeah.
store it for quite a while.
yeah.
Back to your jalapeno raspberry beer. What's the name of that?
We called it Resting Murder Face.
Right. I knew that. I just wanted you to say it. What's up with that name? How do you come up with that? Because, I mean, you obviously got the Black is Beautiful. The first one was just a kombucha we didn't have a name for. We got the Pride Month one. So those names, obviously, you have something you got to follow suit with there. How do we come up with Resting Murder Face, or RMF for short?
I stole the name. So one of the guys at Craft Brewers of Boise, named Jeremy, who does all the brewing over there. One of his friends' name is Erica, who used to work for CSB. She was constantly called out on having a resting murder face in all of her pictures, and so he was making a red IPA that they constantly have on tap. That is a fantastic beer, by the way. But they call it a resting murder face. So I asked her one night if I was to make a kombucha, what flavor would it be? And she said jalapeno, raspberry, call it resting murder face. So, yep.
There we are.
Yeah.
Sold right there, yeah. So you talked a little about sort of fermentation of foods, sort of pickle juice, as it were. Is there anything else you might do, or is there anything in the future as that's concerned?
Right now it's kombucha. Once bars and everything open back up, I'll get back into ginger beer, pickle juice. There was a huge outpouring when I was just talking to bar owners for that in general. So
the pickle juice for chasers?
for backs.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because my two favorite things to shoot are, one, you know me. What is it, Vic?
Tequila?
Absolutely.
Tequila.
And
yeah.
then whiskey, and there ain't no better back for either one of those.
And see, I love
Pickle juice.
picklebacks.
Oh yeah.
But I always forget to order one. I just
A lot
forget.
of places will look at you cross-eyed if you do that. I've been to a few places, and they're straight up will have pickle juice on hand, like those condiment bottles where they'll just squirt it in there for you. But then there are still a lot of people like, you want to chase it with what? And I'm like, no, bro, I promise, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm outside of that one. I do not like pickles.
So,
I dislike them to
I
a
will
high
say
degree.
on that note, like I'm amazed at how many bar owners are still buying like Clausen pickle jars. They're not
Ripping the
really
pickles
even
out,
using
keeping
pickles.
the juice. Yeah.
They're not really even using the pickles, and I'm like, that's what you're paying the money for. But yeah, they're using the pickle juice as backs, and I'm like, those things are $6 a container,
Absolutely.
and then you've got only so much juice in there. So yeah,
That's genius. Genius, I say.
What
If
are
you
they
haven't tried a pickleback, do
They're
yourself a
tasty.
favor.
They are tasty.
It really is
I like
tasty.
You do you,
I know you
man.
hate pickles,
You
and
do you.
he's
I
like,
don't-
that's a goddamn abomination.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I disagree. I enjoy it.
What are they doing with the pickles? Maybe you put
Okay.
a fun umbrella in it or something. Okay, I don't know. Sorry.
All right, so tell us, as a kombucha man, or a human man that brews kombucha,
He listens to human music.
what are some common misconceptions about kombucha, or maybe aspects that people may look at it not quite so positively that you'd like to clear up and turn around? Sell the beer world on why they should go and get a hard kombucha instead of a beer, or along with a beer.
I think what's going on with kombucha right now is they're starting to go more towards like we are brewing, we are fermenting, and trying to I guess, introduce themselves to the beer market more than they were before. So it is about presentation. It is about what you're doing. I remember going into a grocery store and everything just looking medicinal. Like, it just didn't look appeasing.
Smelling medicinal.
It just didn't look appeasing. And so I felt like I was going to the store to go, grab some vitamins or something. And so I think kombucha has started to, they're putting themselves in cans. They're starting to get different labels. They're just starting to do different flavors that are actually like appealing as opposed to tasting medicinal anyways. And so I think they're starting to come along. So I think that would be the biggest thing of, like, it is, I don't know. I'm trying to, it is a good thing. There is fermentation, there is brewing, there is a good thing going into your body with less sugar, with vitamins, and it's a great, I've been trying to tell bar owners that, like, it's a really cool thing to have something with less sugar as a mixer at your bar. And so, like, if you can do something that tastes exactly the same with less sugar, your customers aren't going to have hangovers. They're going to come back more. Like, so, but like, we've done taste tests at bars, and we've had customers go like, I didn't tell any difference between a strawberry kombucha and then a strawberry flavored, mixture of vodka. And it's like, well, mine has 2 grams of sugar, whereas that has 60. So, yeah. So there's a difference.
Wow, that is a difference.
That's huge, man. That's excellent. And so there are health qualities too, right? So somebody has maybe digestive concerns or maybe stomach issues, or you said vitamin B and D, so that tells me something about skin and metabolism.
Yep.
Anything else that I'm kind of missing there?
I'm sure I'm missing a bunch.
I'm sure. But yeah, so it helps with all that, which is super rad.
I mean, your skin and your gut alone, those are 2 big aspects of health that a lot of people do not give the love that they need.
Well, gut health in general for beer drinkers.
There's a reason they call it the beer belly. Huh?
Gotta give it some love.
Absolutely. That's pretty smart. So switch it up to a nice kombucha on occasion, huh?
Cool. Where are
Well,
we at? Yeah.
Let's get into this pride kombucha. It's a fun word to say. Kombucha.
Say it with me.
Kombucha. What's the flavor on the Pride one? The ABV? Beautiful color. Nice little peachy color. Yeah, I'd go with peachy on that one.
It's a little lighter.
Sure.
Than the blackberry.
Well, that's one thing that would probably be pretty cool with kombucha. I bet you get to do a lot of, like, a whole rainbow variety of colors here. Pun not intended in this case. But, yeah, I imagine that would be a cool thing. Because that's one thing I love with beer is an awesome color. You don't get a lot of awesome colors because you're limited with what you can do.
Yeah.
Do you ever play with kombucha specifically to make, like, a certain color?
A little bit. So, like, I know what to look for on. So this one is passion fruit strawberry. I want this one essentially as clear as possible. And so, like, to me, this is something like, this is a rosé essentially.
Yeah.
Like, super, super, super light. But if this came out darker, I did something wrong.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, if this came out like a strawberry color, like a red, I put in too much something.
Interesting.
Still, like, those champagne yeast, would you?
Yep.
Nice. Nailed it.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't want to taste alcohol. Is essentially, like, if I use like a lager yeast or something else, like, you're gonna taste the alcohol. So, yeah.
Sorry, where was this sitting again? ABV wise?
5.2.
5.2. That's right.
So, and I just want to give another shout out. This is proceeds of this are going to Inclusive, Idaho.
Yep.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Man, I think we have a few more questions, but we need to get some plugs in here for our beautiful friends at the lounge.
Let's do it, man.
All right. Of course, they are still doing growler deliveries. I love the fact that they do growler deliveries. They'll bring you a growler. They'll do growler trades. You can order beer without putting pants on.
For some reason, that's a huge seller.
It's a seller to me.
Wear pants, though. I don't get
it. I say don't wear pants. LoungeBoise.com/shop. And, of course, if you come down to fill one up, you get $5 off in-person growler fills with your Beer Buddies card. And you can also buy a Boise Beer Buddies card here. Double whammy. Check out their Patreon, patreon.com/LoungeBoise. They definitely appreciate your support. They do a lot of awesome stuff for local artists, entertainers, the community in general, our fellow beer and kombucha drinkers. Event coming up Friday, July 31st from noon to midnight, another 12-hour Coronathon stream. And that's going to be produced in collaboration with the Blue City and Book Events Boise. Blue City, they do a lot of great things with stand-up comedy around town. Then, of course, July 31st and August 1st, Alvin Williams. Good old Alvin.
Good old Al Will.
He'll be performing here at the lounge. Get your tickets at loungeboise.com/tickets.
Very well. Get at it.
Right on.
Now.
All right. Well, I guess, no, I feel pretty good about our kombucha questions. I guess it's time for the fun part, huh?
Who did we get you with the Rapido Fuego questions?
Exactly.
It's rapid fire for those of you at home. It's fun.
Espanol 101 with Brewnomics.
I've been trying to study for this for so long, but you guys do need a buzzer so I can do this.
Gosh, you could do that just right there. We'll place one there for you. No.
I want a noise though. I want
But I don't know. Maybe Gabe will throw it in post.
Gabe, help us out. Buzzer.
He's shaking his head yes, but his eyes said no.
We'll hit him with a buzzer beater.
This time.
So these are rapid fire questions. These have really nothing to do with anything.
Sure.
You can answer it or you can not.
You can.
It's your life, man.
You can pass if you want.
Exactly.
But we're gonna judge it. No, we won't.
A friend or anything.
Yeah.
No.
No, we don't have lifelines. Yeah.
They're not really worth anything.
That's true.
Except getting to know Joe.
It's a true story. Yeah. That's where we. That's what we want to do. Okay, so, just first thing that comes to mind of the situation seems pretty straightforward. Are you ready to play?
Go.
Nice. Big party or small gathering?
Small gathering.
Small gathering. Do you like swimming pools or sunbathing? Or swimming or sunbathing, I'm sorry.
Swimming.
Do you like swimming pools?
Swimming pools and hot tubs.
Solid.
Done.
Okay, had to follow that one up with a save. Do you like phone calls or texts?
Text.
Okay. Cups in the cupboard, right side up or right side down?
Right side down.
Right side down. Interesting. Do you like to nap or work out?
Nap.
Taking a nap. What is your preferred streaming service?
Oh, it's a tough one. Hulu.
Hulu. Nice choice.
That's the winner so far.
It's
with
good.
all these, it's amazing how Hulu's like.
Uh-oh.
Netflix is on down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel.
Netflix is on the
It's tough,
rocks. Awesome. Do you like a rich friend or a loyal friend?
Loyal friend.
Of course. Marvel or DC?
DC.
DC. There it is. Ball's hands go up, and they stay there. Do you like board games or video games?
Video games.
Nice. Smart or funny?
Funny.
80s or 90s?
Oh, 80s.
Inline skates, skateboard.
What was that? Inline skate or skateboard?
Skateboard, yes.
Oh, skateboard.
Skateboard. Do you like to ski or snowboard?
Snowboard.
Snowboard. Who is your favorite celebrity, Chris? Evans, Hemsworth, Pratt, Rock, Pine, or Nolan?
That's a pass.
I love it.
Come up with something new, guys.
Do you like beach or mountains?
Beach.
Camping or amusement parks?
Camping.
If you could have a superpower, which one would it be?
There's no list. There's nothing to go off of. It's just
Abstract thought on this one. Yeah.
flying.
Fly. Gotcha. I like
Or
teleporting.
I'll go
Oh.
flying, or like, I think the subterranean guy is very overlooked.
Oh, something like Geoforce or yeah,
Like guy that can dig.
Mole
dig,
Man.
come out. Mole Man.
Yeah.
Way overrated. Or
Yeah.
way underrated, sorry.
Or if you go DC Geoforce, he's kind of a weird guy, but not bad. I like his
I'm
style.
trying to think outside the box there.
Sure, I see what you
or
did.
Terra from DC.
Also
Teen
true.
Titans.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's an Earth. Toph. Yeah. Okay. Would you like fries or tots?
Fries.
Fries. Favorite color?
Black.
Black. Nice. Pancake, waffle, or French toast? Or does the French say toast? You're welcome.
Northwest, born and bred, good on all of those, but it has to have peanut butter on top.
Interesting. All right. I like it. I'll have to try it. Yard work or housework?
Housework.
Okay. I get you. Do you like fuzzy or smooth, texture-wise?
Smooth.
Smooth. Hamburger, pizza, or taco? Or taco for Americans.
Taco.
Okay. Morning or night?
Night.
Left or right?
Left.
Top or bottom?
Top.
There it is. All right. Finally, ninjas or pirates or pirates?
Ninjas.
Nice choice. They'll get you.
I'll get you every time. You won't even see it coming.
You guys ever seen a ninja parade?
No. But they exist.
You wouldn't.
You would.
Just blew my mind right there. I was like, are we talking about ninja sex party?
There's
or
one right
okay.
behind you.
Right
All
on.
right. Well, before we wrap up, Joe, we always like to get a little parting gift from our guest here. That's whatever you see fit. Is it something you're doing, watching, reading that you think others should, or maybe even just a nice little bit of life advice that you like to live by that you'd like to bestow on the rest of us?
Words to live by, maybe.
Be kind to each other. Yeah. There you go.
Good enough.
Good enough. We'll take it.
I like that a lot. Well, man, unless you got any other questions, or Joe, you got any questions for us, I think that about does it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Absolutely.
coming on. We really appreciate it. Give us your plugs, personally, professionally. Where can we find you on the social medias, and where can people go and buy your kombucha?
Facebook, we are at Boise Fermentation Company, and then Instagram, Boise Fermentation, and then we are located at Orchard and so we're at 420 Orchard Street, right between Jackson's and the McDonald's.
McDonald's. There you go. Easy to find. Yeah, check them out. Definitely go grab there because you can grab all his kombucha and a shit ton of other great beer out there. Follow us on all things social media at Brewnomics. Until next time, come check out the lounge. Support their patreon.com/loungeboise. Go buy growlers there. loungeboise.com/shop/tickets or loungeboise.com. Play around on the website. Maybe you'll learn something. Who knows? Until next time, be kind, be good to each other. I'm Jerry.
I've been Vic.
Joe.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.